Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Right now, Elite is in a very good position. June was a record month, both for the highest number of consecutive players in one go, as well as a record for the highest monthly average. Fleet carriers, meanwhile, have brought a new lease of life to the game and changed the way many people actually play. Also, earning credits has never been so easy and so widespread, and of course, the long-awaited Space Legs is on the horizon with the new paid update Odyssey coming in early 2021. For all the claims over the years of Elite being a dead game, it's clearly and objectively very much alive and being enjoyed by a larger audience than ever. This then raises a very significant question. What the heck is going on with the game? Why are some enjoyed features being cut? Features that go a long way to giving Elite its identity. Galnet and community goals are the most obvious candidates right here. A few months ago, Frontier very clearly stated that there were no plans to bring back either Galnet or community goals. A few days later, Frontier clarified this by saying both would make an occasional appearance under certain conditions. Quite naturally, a few people took that message and started incorrectly claiming that both Galnet and community goals would make a return. Jump forward to July, yes, just last week, and Frontier have again made it very clear that neither Galnet nor community goals are on the roadmap.
So one question was, what's happening with Galnet? We say this most week, but we know it's a really important thing, so I'm more than happy to explain this each time. That Galnet and community goals currently are not in our road plan just now, but if that does change, or if we do decide to bring them back in, we will let you know. It's just why you've not seen anything at the moment.
In short, they have been unequivocally cut from the game. And for me personally, this is something I find a little odd. Elite has been touted by Frontier themselves as being a live service game. Some people may not necessarily agree with that label, but regardless, it's one that Frontier use. Live service games tend to reside in a living framework, one that changes on a constant basis and thus maintains a player interest. Both Galnet and community goals formed a large part of that framework upon which this was built. Launched as a headline feature back in 2015 as a part of patch 1.1, community goals were weekly global missions that required the entire player base to get involved in order to achieve set objectives. Generally speaking, thousands of players per week would get involved in these goals, and the number of involved players was listed on each community goal, so it's very clear to see how popular or unpopular they actually are. Galnet, meanwhile, was a news service that provided a text-based backdrop to the events going on within the Elite Galaxy. These stories were a mix of events that were actually occurring in the game, as well as events that were purely fictional. In short, Galnet went a long way to breathing life into the game world, highlighting the living politics, economy and key personalities within the galaxy. Further, as a part of the Beyond series of updates, Galnet even received a major update, bringing the news service into an era of being voiced. Both Galnet and community goals have now, to all intents and purposes, been entirely removed from the game. This is doubly confusing for Galnet, as there seems no obvious reason why all the past news articles are not present in the game. There's a massive history there that a lot of people, especially new players, would probably love to trawl through. Whilst Galnet and community goals are one of the few features that have more or less been entirely cut, they are far from the only features that appear to have been abandoned. Other examples of such features that are stuck in a frame of being not improved or even in some cases fixed include multi-crew and power play. The Thargoid War has stopped in its tracks, with the once menacing aliens now relegated to the backdrop. The amazing attacks and burning space stations are now all but gone, with one-off attacks happening every so often. The story of the Guardians has also not made any progress for a very long time. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't to say that development on Elite has been abandoned. As I pointed out at the beginning of the video, that very clearly isn't the case. It seems Elite has a very bright future and also is currently in a very good place. Both of these points only though serve to highlight that the abandonment and lack of development on previous headline features is really an issue, and it's a confusing one at that. Whilst it's true that the vast majority of Elite development team are working on Odyssey and have been doing so for 2 years at this point, the lack of community goals in Galnet is extremely unfortunate. Sure, the previous setup did need some improvement, there's no doubt about that, but it was certainly well liked. And if resources were an issue or are an issue, maybe the development team's a little thin on the ground for the live version of the game, then a less frequent, say, monthly community goals would have been nice to have instead. Now, I'm still hopeful that the reason these things have been removed is because Odyssey will bring something to the table that vastly improves on the concept of Galnet and community goals, but really there's no evidence to support that theory whatsoever, so really it's just me being hopeful on that matter. Anyway, all that said, it does seem that many people's eyes are squarely on the future, all are focused on Odyssey and the upcoming Space Legs update, as well as the tenuous atmospheric planets. However, it's still really hard to watch the removal of some well-loved features, doubly so when the game appears to be soaring to ever-increasing heights of player involvement. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.